So, you're wondering if Lost Winds is a good game. I mean, I can't think of another reason why you'd end up on this video. Before I bore you for the next 6-ish minutes with a full in-depth review, I'll save you the headache and I'll give you the TLDR. So here's the lowdown. It's a pleasant little platformer where you play as a little kid who uses the help of a weakened wind spirit to help him get around. It's kind of like Banjo and Kazooie. But Kazooie in this game is a rock that pushes stuff around with wind, and Banjo is a useless kid who can only pick stuff up and talk to people. You walk around with basic WASD controls, and you use your mouse to harness your godly wind powers. As you progress through the game, you'll unlock new abilities that'll have you saying, "Man, that would have been so useful at the start of the game!" And then you realize that you can always go back to other zones at any point in the game, so the 10-ish minutes you spent ramming yourself against a wall or trying to redirect the fire was 100% time wasted. The music is relaxing, the graphics are smooth Wii-era chibi goodness, and the gameplay may be easy, but a first-timer will still have those moments where they scratch their head trying to get a collectible or getting past a certain obstacle. It's a fun little experience, but it is only the first part of a larger game, so it's super short. I beat it in just 3-ish hours. It's not worth $11, so even though it's fun, I don't recommend buying it unless it's on sale. So yes, Lost Winds is a good game. No, Lost Winds is not worth the price tag. Alright, now that that's out of the way, time to dive into the game a little bit more. Lost Winds is a game made by Frontier Developments. They're a smaller game dev company, but you might be familiar with their space title Fancy Ass Elite Dangerous, as well as their most coveted series of all time that I know you're going to recognize. Goddamn Roller Coaster Tycoon! These guys can literally do no wrong! Oh, shit. Connectimals. Didn't see you there. Lost Winds is a pretty simple game. You play as a kid named Toku who is on his way home when he falls into a hole, and that's where he finds the rock that is actually Enril, the wind spirit. Enril tells you of another evil spirit that was locked away inside of another rock, but he was able to escape, but Enril's the one that needs your help with stuff. So I have my feelings that Enril's the bad guy here, but it's not covered because, like I said, this is only the first part of a much larger series of games, and they've only released the first 2. So the ending's up in the air. If you've played the game and have your own theories, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. You and Enril work together to gust around each zone in the game, you unlock doors, and you solve various puzzles, while also collecting up to 24 little blue idols. Wikipedia says Lost Winds originally stems from a game-making competition geared towards using the Wiimote in a fun way. The same Wikipedia article says it's a Metroidvania game, so, you know, grain of salt. A guy named Steve Burgess saw leaves rustling around in a tree and he thought, okay, so if I controlled the wind with the Wiimote, I could charge $11 for that game on Steam 10 years later. Okay, I don't actually have a quote of him saying that, but I imagine that's what went through his head. In 2008, the game was released for the Wii, and then it was ported over to the PC in 2016, and I gotta say, the port works pretty damn well. I don't think I had a single problem playing this game on Steam. No crashes, no graphic hiccups, barely any issues. Though, like most ports to PC, the game lacked any decent options menu. Looking back on it, the controls are actually totally built for the Wiimote and Nunchuck. You move around with the Nunchuck, you point with the Wii, and it would work perfectly fine. However, they translate to a mouse and keyboard beautifully. Here's the controls in their simplicity. Left click and drag to make a gust of wind, hold the click longer and you'll make a slipstream and you'll carry stuff. You right click and draw a little circle to trap things in a spinning air bubble. You use space to pick things up, WASD to get around. When you combine all that with various things scattered around the environment, you can tackle any puzzle the game has to throw at you. I actually had no idea Lost Winds was originally for the Wii when I was playing it. Actually, I only found that out while I was researching for this review, but retrospectively, the simple controls would be perfect on the Wiimote. Actually, on second thought, an entire game based around precise Wiimote points and pushes? Count me out. I could barely handle Mario Galaxy. Graphically, this game aged very well. Let's take a look at some indie games released in 2017, like Hat in Time or Yooka-Laylee, even some of the non-crowdfunded games like Knack 2. Just taking a few seconds to compare these two games. Sure, Knack 2 is a 3D platformer, so there are more resources active at the same time, but come on, it looks like the two games could have started the same, but they took different paths creatively along the production line. Also, Knack 2 is made by Sony, so they had a lot more money than Frontier to work with, and I can say that without doing any research. Oh shit, no way. Lost Winds was released on the good side of the Wii graphics curve, and decided to go with the evergreen, smooth, chibi graphic goodness. It looks kind of like an indie game made with Unity, so it's not incredibly obvious that the game isn't an indie wonder for the Wii. So, good job, Frontier Developments. The soundtrack in this game, pretty solid. Like, it sounds really well composed for a contest game, actually. It's very reminiscent of old Asian culture music that you'd find in movies. Think Avatar, The Last Airbender, or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It perfectly fits a serene puzzle platformer, but that being said, it would not fit an action game. It's not much of a headbanger, even in the combat moments. The soundtrack is pretty much entirely elevator music, from the outdoor theme to the boss theme, which is a shame. The music doesn't direct the gameplay, so during my playthrough, I did have other tunes jamming. If you're looking for a soundtrack for your D&D campaign, look no further. There's not really much else to say about it. It's good, relaxing, peaceful. That being said, let's recap. Lost Winds is cute and it's entertaining. It's well made, especially for a port of a Wii game. It's also very relaxing due to the atmosphere and soundtrack, but unfortunately, in this situation, the pros don't outweigh the cons. The game is $11 and it took me only 3 hours to beat. Remember those 24 collectible idols that I mentioned way before in this video? There's one per zone, and the reward you get for it is a big fat pile of nothing! Your reward is the joy you experienced while exploring each level. Utter garbage. So my final verdict to this game is a fun but short experience that I can't honestly recommend buying at full price. If it's on sale for like $4, then I'd consider it. You could twist my arm. So that being said, I give Lost Winds a 7 to a 7.5 out of 10 on the how much did I enjoy playing this scale. Thanks for watching my review. If you found it helpful, be sure to let me know by leaving a comment, liking the video, or subscribing to my channel. Or you could be the best and do all of the above. All the footage for Lost Winds you saw here in this video was recorded on my live stream, so if that's what you're into, you can hear the complaints straight from the horse's mouth instead of waiting for my reviews. So if that's what you're into, be sure to drop a follow. All my links are on the screen right now. Also, I'd like to say that I won this game as a giveaway prize from a Twitch streamer named Giggle Wiggles, so shout out to GWiz for saving me $11.